Urban Appalachian channel. We appreciate y'all joining us. And today I thought we was having a salad for supper, and I thought I would do a video on a recipe for simply the best ranch dressing that you've ever tasted. It's nothing like anything in a bottle, and once you try this at home, you'll be making it every week, because the ones in the bottle just don't taste as good as it's homemade. Very simple, and I'm going to make it in a mixing bowl. If you got a blender, you can do it in a blender, but a mixing bowl and a whisk works just as fine. But what I have here is I have some herbs that I've gathered out of the garden. I've got some parsley, and I've washed the parsley, and I'm taking the hard stems out because now it's getting close to the end of herb season, and the stems are getting tougher, and so what we are looking for is a tablespoon of fresh parsley in this recipe, and a tablespoon of fresh dill. And if you don't have fresh parsley or dill, dried works just as fine. But this flavor is so good, and what we're going to do is chop this up and get it in the bowl first. And my chopping skills they need some work. But this is a delicious dressing recipe for ranch dressing, and it is so good, and your family will love it, and it's so easy to do. And you know, here in the wintertime in the mountains here where we live, sometimes you'll get an idea about food, and we have to go to the store, and unfortunately, you know, the roads are so bad we can't get out, so we have to improvise. But this improvisation is delicious. It's a good ranch dressing. Kids love it. And where I grew up on a tobacco farm in Stokes County, North Carolina, and where I grew up, some of the stores didn't have things because it was so rural, very rural place. And so when I would go to school, they would have ranch dressing, and I'd never heard of it before. And since then, we grew to love it. And like I say, my knife skills aren't the best. If you got a blender, it probably get along faster. But we're not in no hurry. That's the problem with the world now. Everybody's in a hurry, and I do this to relax and hopefully help others, because God has been so good to us. He has. Now we're going to take our dill and bunch it up. And chop it as fine as we can. And these fresh herbs make a big difference, but now if you can't get fresh herbs, you can substitute dried, and I am going to use other dried herbs in this recipe, but I just wanted to show y'all how simple it is. And we have several dressings here in the mountains where we live that was a tradition in my wife's family that's totally different than ranch dressing, that I want to make for you over time. It's very unique, but I'll tell you, I'll give you a warning. If you don't want to stop buying bottle dressing, don't make homemade. Because it'll change your attitude. But anyway, we got about a tablespoon each of chopped parsley, fresh parsley, and chopped dill, and it already smells so good. And here's what I like about working in my basement. I can dust my hands off and worry about it later. Okay, in the bowl we've got the fresh herbs. And to that, I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of salt, thereabouts. And like I say, the cooking we do is not rocket science. Not rocket science. A half a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to put a teaspoon of garlic powder. Maybe a little more. And like I say, you can tweak this to suit your own taste, but I'm telling you, this dressing is delicious. Then I'm going to get a half a teaspoon of black pepper. Somewhere thereabouts. Put that in the bowl. I'm going to use a teaspoon of onion powder, dried onion powder. We're going to use a tablespoon of dried parsley. And you can go generous on this. I'm sorry, not dried parsley, but chopped chives. A tablespoon of chopped chives. Now, we've already got salt in there, but one thing in the recipe that I noticed that makes it so much better is I go at the end and add a half a teaspoon of garlic salt. It gives it just a richness and depth. And dressing needs it. It needs that extra salt. Okay. In the bowl here we have a tablespoon of fresh chopped dill, a tablespoon of fresh chopped parsley, a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of onion powder, a tablespoon of dried chives, and a half a teaspoon of garlic salt, a half a teaspoon of regular salt, and a half a teaspoon of black pepper. And that's all of our dry ingredients in the bowl. Okay. In this bowl here, I've pre-measured from upstairs. I have 2/3 of a cup of mayonnaise. And I have 2/3 of a cup of sour cream. Now, you can use fat-free if you're watching for your health. I use the regular. The chemicals that's in some of the fat-free products, I really believe this, that you're better off to eat the real thing. So this is real sour cream, this is real mayonnaise, 2/3 of a cup each, and we'll just dump that in. I got a measuring cup, my wife does, that you're supposed to be able to put your wet ingredients in and then press it out, but I'm not smart enough to use it. So in the bowl, we've got a 2/3 cup of sour cream, 2/3 cup of mayonnaise. Now, for those of you that don't drink buttermilk, I done a biscuit recipe the other week. If you don't drink buttermilk, please try to bake with it. It is absolutely delicious in baking, and it's even better in ranch dressing. So I use the full fat buttermilk. You can use the fat-free, but again, some of the chemicals that's in some of the fat-free products, your body can't digest, so that's the reason we use the real thing. But I don't tell anybody what to do, but this makes a good recipe. To this, I'm gonna add a cup of buttermilk right in there, just like that. Now, we got all of our ingredients together, so now all we're going to do is start stirring it up. And I'm telling you, once you've tried this, you'll make it every week. And what we do is, when we traditionally make dressing like this, I'll put it in a mason jar, or my wife will put it in a mason jar. And we'll store it in a refrigerator for up to a week, but usually it doesn't last for a week. But stir this up real good, and you can already see it's getting creamier. The buttermilk and the fresh herbs in it smells wonderful. It smells really good. We was having fried chicken wings for supper tonight, and we wanted a salad. We had some lettuce. And Lisa said, why don't you make some homemade ranch? And I think that's a great idea to go with their salad. But this is an easy recipe. You can do at home. It's something that the kids can do. And this also shows you how to be self-sufficient. You know, the market's not cornered. I know there's good bottle dressings that people like. But you can do this at home and have it fresh without all the chemical additives that go in it. But just keep mixing it. And like I say, you can do this in a blender. And if somebody's interested in the written recipe, leave me a comment and I will post the recipe. But it's so easy. So easy, so simple. So mix and mix and mix. And it is so, I don't know if you can see that, but it's so creamy and it smells delicious. And once you try it, and kids love this, you know, they've had the ranch dressing at school or little packs of ranch dressing you open up that you buy and maybe put in their lunchbox. But once they taste this, they'll be saying, Mama, Daddy, make me some ranch dressing. It's so good. And it truly is. And you can look down in there, you can see all the herbs. My lighting is not good and hope to get better over time. But I wanted to share this with you. And when we get this on a salad, I'll show you what it looks like. But let me tell you, it's absolutely delicious. And you can cut back on your buttermilk. Instead of a full cup, you can use a half a cup if you want it a lot thicker. If you want your dressing to be thicker. And I'm going to give it a taste test. I'm just going to use my measuring spoon. And it's absolutely spectacular. Delicious. Very good. So we're going to put this in the refrigerator and wait till we get our salad together, and then we'll show you what it looks like on the salad. But I hope you'll try this recipe, but we'll be back here very soon. We have our salad put together, and it's just a simple salad of iceberg lettuce, sliced up, cucumbers out of the garden, some homegrown tomatoes, and that delicious ranch dressing. So pretty. So creamy and rich, and I hope you'll try this recipe. And I'm going to give it a taste test on one of these homegrown cucumbers. You can taste the fresh dill. You can taste the parsley, the sourness of the buttermilk. It's just extraordinary. And anybody can do this, and that's why I'm doing these videos. There's not a monopoly, or you don't have to be a chef to produce good food. I'm doing these videos to persuade others that you can do things, that you can make your own food, you can do your recipes. Yes, you can cook. But I wanted to share this simple dressing recipe, and it's absolutely the best ranch you'll ever have. And I appreciate you joining me today, and God bless you all, and I want to thank God for this home in which He's given us and this food. But y'all have a good day, and we hope to see you next time. And let me know if you'd like a written copy of this recipe for the ranch dressing. I'd be happy to post it. Thank you so much. Hope you'll like Suburban Appalachia channel and like our videos. And y'all have a good day.